Hey guys, so today we're gonna explore parceljs and make a simple Wikipedia search engine, which I've created a while back, and it'll actually help if I show you what it looks like. So I'm just gonna do npm start here, and that should bring us the old version of it, which is going to be on localhost 1234. So let's open that up. Localhost 1234, and this is basically what it looks like for now. So I'm just going to type in something like JavaScript, and we're going to get all these stuff. And then we can also just press read more, which will take us to the Wikipedia entry. Alright, so let's first kill this, and I'm actually going to go to, let's first make a new directory, make directory, and I'm just going to call it Parcel Wiki, cd into it, and first I'm going to do npm init-y, which is good. We're gonna install a couple packages, but first let's open up the directory. And I have to change where some of these things are, so let's believe it's, there we go. And resize a bit. And I'm gonna also just make a new tab and bring it over. So I actually do not want that there, so I forget how to do this. Yeah, screw it. I'll just do it here. That's fine. So first thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna make a what is it? It's not resize. There it is. Now we resize. Okay. So first, we're gonna install Parcel, and I'm gonna install it as a dev dependency. And that should update our package JSON. It's taking a bit. Should have used yarn instead. Oh. Well, while that's happening, I'm just gonna Parcel Wiki. I'm gonna make some files. So I want an index.js, index.html. We're gonna be using postcss for this. So index.pcss, and that should be all the files. And we also need a postcss config file, which I believe is just called, oh yeah, postcss.config.js. Alright, so anyways, adding Parcel will allow us to create our start script. So starts, it's going to be Parcel index.html. I believe that's all I need, right? It has been a while. Yep, that's correct. And then the only postcss plugin that we're going to use is nested. So I'm going to npm I, and we're also going to include it as a dev dependency. And it's going to be post css dash nested, and then I'm also going to add auto prefixer just because. So the first thing I'm going to do is create our postcss config. Module.exports equals to, I think all I need is a plugins object And in here, we're just gonna add the two things nested. And all of these are gonna be empty objects because we're not gonna add any auto prefixer. We're not gonna add any additional configuration. So that should be good enough. Okay. And then for Parcel to run, we just need to add the normal HTML stuff. I'm gonna use Emmet, and we're gonna add link tags to our stuff. Link source equals, it's not source, right? For this is a href. Yeah, it is. Okay, so rel style sheets, and href is going to be index.postcss. And finally down here, we're just going to add a script tag. Source equals http, whoops, not that one, index.js. I guess I can do self-closing. No, I can't. Alright, that's fine. Alright, so now if we do an npm start, we should have an empty thing. So, start. Let's open this up. Localhost 1234. And it is an empty web page, which is correct. And just for testing purposes, I'm going to put an H1. Let's say app works. And there you go. So, the first thing we're going to need is two things, which is why I still have my GitHub up. So, we have, I'm going to be using a thing called JSON or Fetch, JSON P, which you can get here. Or you can also get the CDN by doing fetch JSON P CDN, and you can look for it here. And we're gonna add the script because the Wikipedia API is not a real API, if that makes any sense to you. There's some CORS issue if you don't use the JSON P library. And then we're also gonna take the API, which I'm just going to add here. So this first link is the actual API, which you can use inside your browser. So if we just do a copy here, and paste, and then at the very end, just add whatever search query you want to do. I'm going to go with JavaScript. And this will give us a response of all the possibilities, with the page ID as being the key, and then a thumbnail and sorts. Yeah. The only problem is if you use the native Fetch API, you'll get a CORS issue, which I will show you here. So I'm just going to do a, what is this called? An IFE is a immediately invoked function expression. So normal expression like this, except we're also going to wrap it the 6G, screw it. And let's see, I believe the old way of doing it, you want to reference the window. So instead of an empty thing, it's going to be global, and the expression is going to be window. Ugh. There. Alright. So I'm just going to do a normal fetch promise. So let's see. Do I have to make this async? Yeah, I do. Alright, let's do equals await fetch. Let's go with API dot JSON console dot res, and this should give us a console error because of cores. Or that's an interesting thing. Well, let's see if I change this to a normal promise. What happens? Then we get rid of this awaits. Fetch is not So here we go. This one is the cores error, which we'll get around by using the JSON P or the fetch P library. Fetch JSON P. All right. So instead of this, we're gonna do it in a different way, and I'm gonna create some functions here. So the first one is gonna be a search function where it takes in the term, which is gonna be a string, and it's just gonna do what is it? Fetch JSON P, referencing our library that we imported, and we're gonna do a template string here of API, and then it's gonna be and GSR search, and this is where we put in our term. Then we'll just use the normal promise chain. There's that JSON, and then another one, which I call data here, which we're gonna be, for now, console logging. And let's make sure we add a catch. So error, console log the error. Oh, there's an error because I added the semicolon. So here, if we do a search with the search term of JavaScript, we should console log the correct thing. And now we do. So we have continue, limits, and the query with all the data. So instead of just console logging it out, we're gonna add it to the DOM. And before the DOM to work, I believe I want to make just a simple form here. So form with no action, with two inputs. Input of text and input of submit. Submit. Let's give this form an ID. I called it form, so then we could access it using the JavaScript API. And let's make the other functions. Excuse me. Okay, so the first one is going to be display search, which is going to take in an object, and the object that it's taking in is the data object coming from the fetch API. And it's just going to be document dot get element by ID of results, which I didn't add yet, so we should probably do that. Is this a div? No, it's a UL. So an unordered list with the ID of results. Yeah, that's all we're gonna need. I pressed the wrong button. Okay, so back to JavaScript. And we're just gonna edit the inner HTML, and we're gonna reset it first, so then we can add in the text. And I'm actually gonna make another function for that called display results. which also takes in an object. Document.get elements by ID. This time we're getting oops, we're getting results again, and we're gonna edit the inner HTML to be a template string, and we're just gonna type out some HTML. So it's gonna be a list item with a div tag, and while I'm in here, I'm gonna give it a CSS class of card. So first, I'm gonna do an h3 tag. I really wish Emmet worked inside of these template strings, but I'm gonna do object.title. Oops, wrong button. Do a p tag of object.extract, and finally a tag to the page link. So page object.page ID, and then it's going to have the text of read more. And if you're wondering where these things are coming from, it is coming from the query object here. So each of these pages has the extract, which is the description text, the page ID, which is the actual Wikipedia page link. It also has page image and page thumbnail, but I'm not currently using that for now. And it also has the title, which we're also extracting from this object. So this is going to be for each of the queries inside of pages. So the display search function is actually going to traverse into that object, and we're just going to use a simple for loop here, and just do I in object, and we're just going to call display results of said object. That looks right. Let's see it. Oh, and then the global, I don't actually want to use search JavaScript. We're actually gonna add an event listener. But before we do that, let's make sure we add display search to this promise of data so that things actually happen. And the first thing we want to do is get the form. So document.get elements by ID of form, and we're going to add an event listener, and the event is going to be submit. So we're going to get the callback. Man, I want the space here. First, we're going to do prevent default, so the form doesn't actually submit the default behavior of the form submit. And then we're going to do search of e.targets.value. I don't know why it did 0. There might be a reason for that. But once everything is saved, we could test out our form submission here. And we do JavaScript and undefined, and I wonder why. Search e.target.value. Well, let's just console log it and see what is wrong. Pretty sure it's that index 0 that's giving the problem, but form. Okay. Event.target. Okay, what about the event? The event is event.target. Oh, that's why, because I wanted the value of the input. Input dot, it should be down here somewhere. Value? Value is JavaScript. So this is correct. Okay, let's try this again. So the input value is JavaScript, which is correct. So, alright, let's get out of this, and let's just do search of JavaScript, and let's see. So something is wrong, and I wonder what it is. So API, which is right, object.title. Oh, right. Okay. So I'm not getting the actual object in here. So this should be .query.pages. No, not that one. Alright. I don't want to change it in two places. So I'm actually going to change it over here. Query.pages here. And we have the first one, which is good. And we just, oh, wrong button. It's this one. Alright, cool. And then it's only displaying one because I forgot to make this a increments function. So we just do a refresh to clear all the event listeners and do JavaScript here. We should get all of them, which we do, which is good. This is still happening. Oh, because the console log is still here. So we get rid of that. And now we could start editing the postcss file to give it some more life. So currently it's pretty ugly, but we're gonna style it now. So the first thing I'm gonna do is add some CSS variables. And I'm also gonna change this to CSS for syntax highlighting. Alright, so let me use white with the ECF0F1. Blue is going to be the hex code of 3498DB. And black is, oops, 2C3E50. And let's just add a simple reset. We're going to do margin 0 everywhere, padding 0 everywhere, and font family of just sans serif for now. So, there it is. So I guess we have to refresh every time we change the CSS, which is annoying. So let's run through all of this really quick. So let's see, body, I'm gonna do background color of white, which is not actually white, and then the text color everywhere of the black that we created, and then the li is going to be list style of none. There's also another reset. Alright, so now form container, which we should add that class in here. So class here, form container, and then I believe this has a class too. The UL is just called container. And then in the index, I already gave it the card, so that's good. So let's just go through the form container. Is a width of 60, so then we could center it with margin. And I did 1.5 rem and auto. We're gonna style both of the inputs with a width of 45%. Font size of 1 rem, which is kind of irrelevant. So 0.3 rem for padding. Border 1 pixel. I guess I went with transparent. I haven't done that in a while. I hate this keyboard. Border radius 0.3 rem. And then we're gonna also based on the input type. So this one's gonna be type submit, which is our button. We're gonna make it more button-like. So background color. There we go. Our variable of black. Color is going to be our variable of white. And then our type text is just going to be color bar black. So with that styling, it looks like this, which is perfect. Cannot read pages unmodified. Yeah, I didn't do that case, but that's fine. So now we just need to create our everything else. Well, what's it called? The container and the cards. So container, our container class is going to be width of 80% and margin auto to center it. Nothing too fancy here. And then for the card, just do the normal border 1 pixel, solid black, for a radius of 1.5 rem this time. Some margin and padding. And then all the individual pieces inside. So the H3, I'm just going to center it. Text align, center, margin bottom is going to be 0.3 rem. And then the anchor tag, we're going to do text align right. And we're just also going to do display block. And let's test it out and try JavaScript again. And it looks pretty good. I don't like the purple and the blue, so I'm just gonna add this. So visited, just gonna color blue. Text, decoration, none. I can actually put this up here. So that's fine. Yeah, that's better. I like that. No, I could just do this. And get rid of this rule down here. There we go. So that's basically all I had to do. And if we click on one, we're going to ECMAScript, which just had an update recently about map or flat map, which I'm actually pretty excited about. So there's our little project, and yeah, it's using parceljs to create everything. If you go into the disk folder, it's creating all of these files on the fly every time. And if you want to check out our auto prefixer, we just open it up and let's see. Is there any actual auto prefixing happening? Because I don't see it. I guess not. I guess I did everything pretty by the book then. All right, cool. And yeah. Also, just as proof, I still remember how to write vanilla JavaScript without a framework. So there you go, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little project. I'll see you guys next time.